What's a John Cusack?
Welcome to Late to the Party, where we review, I can't talk today, movies that are at least 10 years old. And this week, our movie is the infamous Cutthroat Island. Cheers. 1995 was its release date. Director was Rennie Harlan, starring Gina Davis as Morgan Adams, Matthew Modine as William Shaw, Frank Langella, as Dog Brown, spelled with a D-W-A-G. By the way, he was hipping with it then.
It's D-A-W-G.
No, it's actually D-W-A-G, according to...
Dwag.
That's how they spell it. Take it up with them. And Stan Shaw as Mr. Glasspool. So there's some fun little trivia tidbits here, just to start us off here. The Guinness Book of World Records has nominated and has put this movie as the biggest financial loss movie ever. It took $115 million to make, and it only made $10 million back. I don't know why, because this movie's fantastic. And the other little tidbit, of information is Frank Langella says that Dog Brown is one of his top 3 favorite roles that he's ever done. And this interview that he did was just a couple of years ago. And the number 1 was his Richard Nixon character from the Nixon Frost movie. Number 2 was Dog Brown from this movie. And number 3, believe it or not, was Skeletor from Masters of the Universe, which I thought was super funny. I thought that was great. And he says he likes these movies because he's allowed to just unleash and just like let go and do his own thing and act. And you can tell when you see those movies that's very true. All right, so it's a basic movie. So guess what, guys? I'm going to ask some basic questions. So Lego, what'd you think of the movie?
Oh man, I loved this. It was so much fun. It was totally like Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, but like just a little bit older and just as fun. And it was pretty wacky. I really loved this movie.
Isaac, thoughts?
Thoughts? It was like being on Pirates of the Caribbean and just watching all the chaos go on, and a lot of action, a lot of adventure, excitement. A lot of the wet t-shirt contest that Captain Morgan was in didn't do the wet t-shirt contest that I was hoping. But all in all, fun movie.
Jose, what you got?
Not really having watched any other pirate movies other than the Pirates of the Caribbean. This was pretty refreshing. It is a little wacky, but I love that it's more... I feel like it had some trouble identifying who it was trying to, sell itself to, with that line where she says, it's not going to work. I got your balls, and just her attitude, like the one-liners, everything. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. It was a more grown-up Pirates of the Caribbean, but not too grown-up to compare it to other pirate movies for grown-ups.
Josh?
It's patently absurd that a wench like her could have ever defeated the royals of the British Navy.
All right, Nate.
Give me a minute to digest, Josh.
You can have him. Just drink them all in, fellas. Back off. He's fine.
It didn't start well, and I found myself being overly critical on certain things. But then once I paused the movie and I had a schizophrenic conversation with myself about how I should just try to channel my inner Liz and just have a good time and try to have fun with this movie. And once I did that, I still had to pull myself back from the edge a couple times, but it was good. It was a fun movie.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go with our tried and true. Let's do best and worst scenes in the movie. Lego. Oh, Nate, we're gonna let you because you like to rant. So we're gonna let everybody else have their shot first.
There we go. Man, I'm kind of with Nate. I feel like that whole first chunk was rough. It was really rough, man. From the shallow seas that looked about a foot deep to the terrible setup. It was a rough first 15 minutes. And after that first fight scene, I was like hooked. But the first like chunk was real rough to get through, especially with the dying dad that she swims probably a mile to shore before scalping him. I don't know, that took a little bit out of me. I was really worried how I was going to find something positive about this movie. But it totally turned around, and after that first fight scene, it was awesome all the way throughout. So the scene I probably enjoyed the most was when she bids on her slave and buys him, and then it's just action packed for like the next 10 minutes, and they're going through the whole town, and the whole town is basically destroyed. And she's like running through the shop, and she's like, "Oh, I'd love to go to that shop again sometime when I have a little more time." Haha, just quip, and like explosion, quip, sword, quip, gun, quip. It was really fun. So I think that was my favorite scene.
Isaac.
Well, that was my favorite scene, and he took it from me because all those one-liners that she had were pretty spot on. And damn it, I wanted to talk about that scene.
Their worst.
He was like a pirate, and he took yours.
He took my
Took your
booty. Worst scene was her getting wet in that shirt and nothing popping out.
I was waiting for somebody to say something like that.
Every time she was wet, I was like, all right, here we go. We're gonna get some headlights. Nothing.
Sorry. I think they had to like tone it. That was another thing I looked up. They had to tone it down a little bit to get the rating that it got, so that it could be shown internationally. And even at that, they had to cut some scenes out of the original theatrical release because of that. Jose? Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jose.
I really enjoy all the fight choreography. I like the sword fighting. Those are some of my favorite scenes, except, they also, I don't know if it was her dress or whatever you call what she had on. It made it a little bit difficult for her to move, but she looks very stiff in a lot of them. That kind of took me out every once in a while. Plus, some of I could have done without some of the little one-liners during some of the more epic fight scenes. Which, yeah, once again, I was like, it seemed like they were trying too hard in those moments to sell both a serious and a kind of a comical or quirky sort of play. So I don't know. I enjoyed them, and I also kind of got taken out of the moment and dozed. But I will say, this movie and Waterworld are probably the two worst places to hide a map. I'm like, Jesus. But I think they're onto something because, I heard a story recently about somebody forgetting their password for something for Bitcoin, and they're about to lose $220 million. And I kind of figured, you know what? Tattooing your password on your armor is not such a bad idea after all. But I can definitely see where all the money went. That's crazy that they lost that amount. But you can see that they used each and every penny in the movie, which is a shame that it bankrupted the company, because I honestly enjoyed it. So.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes,
Sir
Your
Josh.
Majesty.
Every scene in which Her Majesty's servants are portrayed in the light of royalty is certainly the best. And every scene where we had to witness the disgusting, gigantic, trollish nature of this Morgan. Ugh. There's a reason why she didn't look good in a dress. She's a man.
What did you think of my favorite character, King George, or Edward, or whoever that was, the monkey?
It's atrocious that they should name a beast after a king.
Very well.
Nate? Nate, what are your thoughts? Best and worst.
I have several, Liz. I'm glad you have to wait till the end. Okay, they're falling down through the scaffolds, and the wood is breaking along clearly cut lines. And she's obviously falling down slower than he is with a rope above her. That was pretty rough.
It's so absurd.
They're riding on the horse or the stagecoach, right, or whatever that stagecoachy thing is, through the tunnel. Carriage, cheerio, pip pip, and all that sort of rot. They're going through the tunnel. She gets out, goes through the top, tries on dresses, rolls around with girls while the horse is still running through the tunnel, and she tumbles out and gets on. Like, there's no way that her path would lead up with that carriage. So that's just two things, and that was when I realized.
There's a segue. Hold on, there's a segue to that. Just so you know, she actually did that stunt on her own. Did you know that? She did that whole crashing through and the rolling out, and she got messed up when she did one of the takes.
I was looking at it, and I could see that it was her face when she rolled out. So I get
Nathan,
there's just no way
it is apparent that you are a man of science because you recognize all the problems with the physics.
But and then there's the others, and my last problem would be that is it possible for a woman to be fast and skilled enough to beat a man at a sword fight or a fist fight? It is, but it isn't through like brute strength and one punch KOs. When I see those in movies, it's just kind of like, oh man, like how many of you guys have been punched in the face? We've all been punched in the face. I've been punched in the face by like 250-pound dudes, and you don't just go down. And if a 100-pound girl, even Gina Davis is big, say she's 170 on the exaggerated end, I'm sure I could take a chop from her to the chin, and it would be like. So now I'm not saying that that a woman couldn't beat a man, but it would have to be like quickness and skill wise. Those are my nitpicks, but I want to say that it got fun once they had been thrown off the ship. It seems like she got comfortable with the role, and she wasn't as wooden as she had been, and the dialogue kind of rolled out better because there was no attempt at any sort of accent at the beginning of it, and it just seemed like as the film progressed, she got more and more comfortable with the role, and it showed. And I want to say the second 2/3 of the movie wasn't bad.
Nice. Well, our other generic, not generic, but our other question that we normally ask is, could this movie be made today? And obviously, I would think that the answer would be yes, with the success of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Would you agree?
My major question is, what did it go up against that made it not make enough money? Like what is there any idea why it flunked so bad?
Yeah,
my dear man, it's Gina Davis's face.
So the budget for the movie actually doesn't have to do with the fact that it was like the sets, and what happened is that the director was busy trying to finish his cast. He was having a hard time with casting, he wanted certain other actors were supposed to be in these roles, but they just weren't falling into place for them to be actually. So he's trying to get these other actors to be in these roles. And when that happened, the script was written and the set designs were being made. So when it came time for him to come direct after he finished casting, the sets and the story weren't what he wanted. So they had to tear it all down and they had to rewrite the script. And actually, the director spent $1 million of his own dollars to have that happen, to put that in, to make sure that it happened. And that's where it all came from. It was all having, basically they set design and did everything, and he didn't like it, and so they had to tear it all down and redo it all. And that's where most of the money was lost in. They basically did 2 film productions, and they fired a bunch of people. And this movie, if you want to talk about a movie that's like was cursed, it wasn't. I'm not cursed in the sense that like bad stuff happened. It's just this director was just, he's a weird director. He's one of those like artisan type directors. Well, he thinks he is. They had 3 cameras rolling at all times, and they had so much film that they didn't know what to do with it. And the cost on all that stuff was just astronomical. And they filmed everything. Basically, if they could film it on the sea on a boat, they got a boat, and they filmed it out on the middle of the ocean. So they had to have crews that were out there. When they went to a tropical island, it wasn't a typical island. They found an island in the middle of nowhere and literally like built housing and sets and everything for people to like stay and be on. So that's where most of it went to. And then it just wasn't well received. I don't know. It came out in 1995. I got to be honest with you. I didn't look that deep, but as the movie goes,
Sahara pirate movies.
What?
Is this like the Sahara of pirate movies? I think we found
yeah, this actually
big budget movies that failed.
This movie killed the pirate genre. Apparently, there was a bunch of movies that were in production or pre-production that were pirate themed type movies. They're trying to bring that genre back. And then this movie came out, and they're just like, hard pass. Until the Pirates of the Caribbean movies came out.
Yeah, it was 1995.
Yeah, I don't remember what else came out in 95, so I'm not sure exactly what it would have gone up against. But yeah, most of the money that, like I said, went into it was redoing full sets, and those sets are very elaborate with all of the fight scenes and having to blow stuff up and do things like that with. So that whole town was blown up a couple of times, and yeah. So yeah, this was the Sahara of this movie, of this genre.
Batman Forever, Johnny Mnemonic, The Quick and the Dead, Powder, Desperado, Casino, 12 Monkeys.
This was a tough year.
I think it lost out to Powder.
Waterworld.
Oh,
Waterworld was dope.
I love Waterworld.
You need to be on dope to enjoy it.
Heat.
I loved Waterworld.
Yeah,
You, sir, are a liar.
Species, Judge Dredd,
Ooh,
Empire
Judge Dredd.
Records.
No, the Stallone version of Dread is awful.
Mallrats,
Yeah, he removes his helmet.
Mallrats.
Braveheart,
Oh,
Ah.
Oh,
Kids.
that's where you lost them.
Oh, Braveheart. That was Josh. That's a top 10 Josh movie right there. Freedom.
yeah. So anyway, okay. So yeah, like for me, I like this movie just on the surface level. As you can tell from the movies that I've picked in the past or presented in the past, I'm basic. I really like just sitting and having fun and watching movies and just getting caught up in the moment. So I do like these adventure type flicks and films. They're right up my alley. All right, so let's get right to the buckets. Isaac, bucket us.
I'm gonna give it 4 buckets.
Oh, nice. Jose.
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't the greatest. I felt like, despite the director being weird, he was still Michael Baying it up before Michael Bay was Michael Bay. All the explosions, action scenes, all the nice big sets. It shows where the budget went. I mean, I didn't know that they had to tear stuff down. Man, I don't know. It's just this is just a fun movie. I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Nate?
I'm gonna go with Isaac. I'm gonna stick it at 4. The budget and all that stuff, got me there. The acting wasn't consistent. The special effects were either awesome or horrible, and just inconsistent. So 4.
I shall split the difference. I'm going to go with a 5. I think it has some legacy issues. It destroyed the pirate genre, and really, it begins the era of the Mary Sue. This sea bitch comes onto the scene having all the skills necessary to defeat the hardiest of pirates and the English Navy. Absurd.
Lego?
This is a 10 out of 10 movie, guys. It was very fun. It was very fun. I don't know what everybody's critiques are. I can't see it. This was a great movie, and it killed the pirate genre, setting up for perhaps one of the best pirate movies of all time. If we hadn't have had that lull in the pirate culture, maybe we would not have gotten the Black Pearl, which is a fantastic movie. So cultural influence of this movie is quite high. So I'm going to give it a 10.
Nice. Well,
It's not every day you bankrupt a movie production company.
No doubt.
yeah, and even as much as I enjoy and like this movie, it does have some rough patches for me. But I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. It's not up there, but it is a 7. So, all right. Well, there you have it, folks. Our fun and fancy-free critique of Cutthroat Island. Nate, we give it to you.
All right. We have 3 lanes we can go into this time.
Oh, geez.
So,
Jolly good.
cheerio. We have more Kung Fu. We have the Tearjerkers. And we have $2.
I just want to know what's in the $2 category.
Yeah, same. I think it's how much we're gonna have to pay to watch the movie.
What are you doing?
I'll go with the
What are you
$2.
feeling?
What's that, Lego?
I'll go with the $2.
There you have it.
All right.
Going $2.
$2
$2
holler.
$2. That's the John Cusack category. We've got Better Off Dead, which is actually where $2 came from. We've got One Crazy Summer with Bobcat Goldthwait. And the iconic Boombox Holding Say Anything. But I do say if we're gonna do $2, we should go with the original $2 one. So
Okay. I haven't seen any of them, but I have them.
What's a John Cusack?
we have our at the beginning of the show.
It's the brother of Joan Cusack.
It is.
Ah,
I'll go with the Better Off Dead.
Whatever the $2 one is, I'll take your advice, man. I'm wishing I picked Kung Fu. I fucked up.
Here we go. This one. There you go, Nate.
Off dead. Awesome.
So does the title fall on him in the middle of the movie?
Yeah, it's all about the titles falling.
You're gonna have to find out.
Better Off Dead is how I wake up feeling every morning, so I'll go with that.
All right.
Cool. Next week.
So, next week, it looks like we're gonna be doing the John Cusack Better Off Dead. And for Late to the Party this week, I'm Liz.
And Josh.
I'm Isaac.
Jason.
I'm Jose.
And I'm Nate.
See you
Cheerio.
next week. Bye.